Yeah, guys, you know that the hunger issue in Nigeria is actually real, and people are still in pains, challenged about what to eat and all that. But it took a very new turn 2 days back when a woman was found in Uyo, somewhere in a farm where she works, and it was found out that she uses chicken feed and fish feed and prepares it like papa camo
Wow.
for her
Wonderful.
4 children. I think a 22-year-old lady. That got me so concerned, and I'm sure you would have seen that news flying around. So, and I'm wondering, how did we get to this point, and how has it become this bad? Is it properly? And then feeding on animal feed, what are the implications? How is she going to survive, and what would it do to the children? Stunted growth, those people. I don't want to say Popo and the other.
No,
yeah.
Would it stunt anybody's growth? I don't think so. Life is all about what you are used to. I don't think. But chickens do grow when they feed with those chicken feeds and fish.
Guy,
They do grow.
Human beings and chicken.
Different from chicken.
Exactly.
Mammals, man.
Yeah, but again, you know that there are compositions for this feed.
Yes.
For us, we're advised to eat healthy. There are certain things we should eat, and the same proportion may not be the same proportion for the chickens. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So they may survive, but I don't know what could be the implication medically. Do you think?
When you say something like that, I don't know, sure, but I know those days when we were growing up, many a times people eat only carbohydrates once in a while before you see protein and all that stuff.
Mm.
It's now that rice is common now. Before those days, it's only yam all the way.
Rice only on Sundays.
Only on
Only
Sundays.
on
It's
Sundays.
yam all the way and cassava
Sundays
and
are the-
whatever. So they
No,
will survive. I think it's about...
No, the truth is, we can't actually conclude on the health implication. Reasons being that digestive process differs. Do you understand? The way it is, like in these animals, just like a chicken, for instance, with that of a man, these are two different procedures. And two, we don't know whatever chemical constituents that are also involved in this food.
Yeah.
These days, they don't really do
you
chemical when it comes to chicken and
Feed.
fish feed.
Some may be
Because
using
I know they
hormones.
still put protein and they still mix it,
Yeah.
to balance it. So you wouldn't really... I don't think there will be any...
But are you trying
That's
to say?
too
Are you
much
trying to
hazard.
say that it's actually cool? Because I feel like
No, it's not cool.
It's
Hey,
horrible.
please.
It's pathetic.
It
Very-
is.
very pathetic.
But is it now that you guys know that it's biting? It's been long now. It started during Buhari's time. It has been like that. It's just
It got
the
worse.
one we saw now. You understand? People have been going through a lot.
And do you know that people could be doing worse things than what we're seeing
Of
right
course.
now?
Yes.
It's the
This
one
is,
that
this
you
is just the only one
that
that
you
is
heard.
discovered. People feeding on animal feed. There could be worse
Oh,
things
no.
that are going on.
worse
I have ever heard about people eating chaff after making akam. I don't know what it's
I think
called.
I've heard about
They
that.
put crayfish.
They don't
and
throw
all
them
that.
away these days.
Yes, you
Mhm.
understand.
They don't
And
throw all those stuff away.
At some
these
point,
days.
I also
It's,
heard about a lady going to scavenge in a dustbin about yam peels or something like that.
Wonderful.
Dries
For Elubo, I think.
And
that's
Alibo,
what it was, right?
yes,
Alibo.
yes.
Alibo, they
Yeah.
use yam, they use cassava, and all that. All those things have been there before. But I think the thing is, at the time we grow so, will I say, agibolistic, that nobody wants to go about those yam peel and cassava peel and dry it on the road and grind it and draw it like Alibo.
So what you're
Some
saying,
of us ate it when we were young.
what you're saying invariably is that at this point in our national economy, people should adjust. Is that what you're saying?
It's not really adjusting. Immediately Tinubu came in and removed subsidy. Everybody is supposed to tighten their belts. That is the truth. Because
that was the signal.
everything in this life goes with fuel.
Yes.
You can't tell me that the price of yam, bringing it from Benue to Abuja, will be the same when fuel was 179 naira or 180 naira and 680. I mean, it can't be the same. Immediately they say they remove subsidy. Everybody is supposed to wake up and tighten their belt. Because it's going to be... Have you noticed that some schools these days change the price of first term is different from price
For your second time, yeah.
price of third term? You understand? So it's like that. There is no particular price of anything in Nigeria
Right
now.
Yeah.
Okay, but again, can we look at what would have made this lady feed her 4 children on livestock feed.
Me, I think it's better something is in the tummy than the tummy is empty. Because that's when you begin to talk about kwashoko. When there is nothing in the system at all, that's when you begin to talk about ulcer, kwashoko. Yeah, but do children really have ulcer?
No,
Okay,
they
they do.
yeah.
They
Yeah,
do.
they do.
You know, the kwashoko and ulcer, all those stuff will come in.
Malnourishment.
But if there is something in the tummy, your tummy, there will be something there before you begin to talk about balanced diet.
This is-
Let's eat
when
first
this
before you
is
begin to
really
balance
horrible.
it. It's
when there's-
annoying. I
This is
agree.
really horrible.
I'm telling
It's
you.
annoying.
You see
I
how far
agree.
we have gone.
Honestly.
You know, at this point, we're just talking about having the stomach filled. We're not talking
It's not about balancing
the right
everything.
Yeah, not the right one.
Nobody's
Not
talking
balancing.
about-
It's
Like I
about
said, we are not-
having something in the stomach. You know.
First.
Yeah, but we also know that the lady is said to be 22 years
Oh, yes.
old.
Oh boy.
She already-
22
she-
years,
she-
4
She
children.
already has 4 children.
Wow.
And she's been paid 15,000 naira. You know.
Wow.
Yes.
15,000 a month.
15,000 naira a month. So why wouldn't she feed?
It's less than 500 naira every day.
Wow.
If you do that mathematics.
Yes.
Wow.
Less than
It's less than 500
Yeah,
because
about
most months are 31 days.
Yeah.
About 250.
Yeah.
They're about 200.
Hey. But
Transport.
I don't
That's
know.
terrible.
Anyway,
Really
she may be living behind, or they may give her accommodation, because I can't remember hearing any house that will
Yeah.
charge 15,000
House
naira.
help.
you know,
No.
Before you talk about electricity,
Yeah.
okay.
No, the truth is, we must accept the fact that times are really hard presently in the country. And okay, just like you mentioned, 15,000 naira. I'm trying to imagine where will such a woman start from? Do you understand me?
15,000
So
naira.
you cannot see why she's forced to look for an alternative rather than watching her kids die of hunger. That's a mother. She went out of the way to make sure at least there was something to keep them alive. As much as, the imagination is horrible, it's unimaginable. Because for now, we can't even analyze the health implication until probably 1 or 2 analyses are carried out about it.
Or maybe somebody falls sick
Yeah.
and
So,
they
but,
begin
but,
to talk
but the
about
truth,
it.
the truth is, people are really going through a lot, a whole lot.
True.
Just like you said, this one actually because it was made public.
Yeah.
There are people going through worse than this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because it's not in the public domain, it seems that if anybody tells you that he or she or life is normal in this country for now, the person is telling you a big lie.
Yes.
And I felt we are faced with the reality now. That's why most times I was speaking to somebody last week and I said that because I remember the guy during the election time, he was one of those, during Buhari time. I remember what he told me. He said he rather prefer a Muslim, even if the Muslim is an illiterate. I said, okay, no problem. No, that tells you the mentality. So we're not even looking for leaders who can impact us.
And
who
make
can-
things get better.
Because already we're in a mess.
No,
Divided,
you know,
divided,
they
Exactly.
purposely did that.
and they
So
pick
many.
sides.
Look, they purposely did
So
that
you-
because they know if we unite, if we are together, we won't allow such thing to happen. So they will always
They
use
divide
religion
us.
and ethnicity
Do you know
to
the
tear us
guy
apart.
telling me this thing is an academic doctor.
Wow.
I've never been so disappointed in my life.
Wow.
That somebody with that level, could be thinking this. So you can imagine that. So this thing is not now. If you go to markets, just like somebody was saying,
It's just what I wanted to say. If you
Somebody
go to
tell you,
market,
yes.
do they have where Muslims buy?
Say, Dr. K, you're a Muslim, you're a Christian.
You're a
Okay,
Christian, buy
the
from
yam,
here.
buy from there. I said, okay, madam, you're a Muslim, buy it from there. Everybody buy at the same price. No, so the problem it starts with our thinking. I think that's where to get it correct. It starts there. So during the election, we need to know what are we really looking for. What kind of a leader are we expecting to come in?
Look.
Because the truth is that when you don't choose the right leaders to actually lead you, you will suffer for it.
Ross, this
And
one
that's
we
what
are
we are
saying
going
is
through.
when election have its own spirits. Once it comes, everybody forgets
all the suffering.
all the suffering
I'm
of 8 years and 9 years and 10
I don't
years.
know how that
Everybody
happens.
forgets it. Everybody will
Let's
begin to
just
focus on
start
this.
something.
I'm telling
Immediately
you.
the person sits in 10 days, 100 days, 50 days,
There's
reality
no
will come in.
Yeah.
Everybody begin to say, I didn't know it wasn't. I didn't know it.
And funny
But if
enough-
they give them the opportunity, they will still do
Funny
more.
enough, the same sycophants who support these our politicians in quotes are still the ones that will still join us and complain.
And complain.
Of course.
They complain
Of
more.
course.
Their own
They
is
complain more,
worse.
definitely.
Their own is worse. So many of them. I saw somebody the other day. He said, since Tinubu came in, he hasn't drank more than 2 bottles of beer before. Before when,
So
when Yes, before when Buhari is there, once in a while you see somebody calling for beer and all that stuff. Tinubu's own is worse, that even beer increased.
Even Dorime does not
You remember those days that when Obasanjo increases fuel and people complain, he will ask you how much is the
How
bottle
much
of
is
beer.
a bottle of beer? It's so bad now.
So,
You know, but I very much think that
yes.
government can do something about this thing
Okay.
if they want. Because the most important thing Nigeria need, you see food, you see road, you see electricity.
Yeah.
Every other thing you want to do, take the rest. Give them food. And how do you control this food? Just reduce the price of fuel and diesel. Once it comes down, people will work it out and give them security. I don't even know the politics they are playing with all this farm thing. You see people go to their farm and somebody will come and kill them. You know, in the internet the other day, they gave a man a knife and they were holding machete at the back and say he should be slashing his corn down, maize for the cows. How do you expect people to survive with somebody will plant maize and you give him something to slash it down for his cow? It's terrible. There are some things when you see it in Nigeria.
I know we're already having food insecurity, which is related to the insecurity, the general insecurity, and upsurge around the country. That's one. Two, the fuel subsidy removal has actually increased the transportation of food items from areas of production to the places of consumption. So now this has actually changed the narrative for food and the costs of food items in the market. You know, now that brings me to the question about the minimum wage that has actually been signed. I know the workers haven't been paid, but we also have people who are working in farms, like our friend in New York, who are working in farms, who are working in some small places. You know, how much would they be paid? Could they be getting this same 70,000? And even the 70,000, is it enough? And of course, you know from history, after increments, people will come back after 6 months to say, the money, the take home cannot take us home.
Anyway.
So
that's the reality.
The take home cannot take us home. Now, what do you think that people who are working should do? Because we need to think.
I don't even know how
things.
they came up with that 70%. You know,
70,000.
70,000. Me, the way I analyze it is, how much was fuel during Buhari's time? I think it's 165 naira. And you now increase fuel to 680 naira. So if you divide 30,000 that we were doing before and 70,000 now, let's say you doubled it. So the fuel is supposed to be plus or minus 350 or 320, not 600. The money is finished before he got it. In fact, I don't even know how some of our civil servants survive.
And check how much is a bag of rice.
That one you are too much.
So some families may not be able to eat rice.
That one is fine.
What you said, I learned that there's a bill, there's some sort of legal bond that mandates that everybody, that the minimum wage will circulate around, even down to every other person, security man.
Who is going to enforce it?
That. You know, they could report you.
Nobody can enforce it. Let me tell you why you can't enforce it.
Paying.
Are you listening?
What is the
government doesn't have any impact on private sectors businesses.
Right.
So there is no. In fact, I don't know. It's not possible.
You can't force me to pay more than what I can afford.
There is no incentive.
Sorry, if you understand what it means to run a private sector in this country, my dear, is really terrible. Now, can you imagine? No, check out the cost of fuel. Let's assume you're using diesel.
I can relate.
You run gen. Let's assume you are doing production, cost of materials, and then you also hire workers who will work for you.
In fact, for most
by the time you do all this analysis, why aren't you surprised that most companies are packing out of the country?
Yeah,
most of them are packing.
because
they can't cope.
They can't deal with the power issue.
That is the truth.
So how would you
don't run generator from morning till night?
Do you know that average entrepreneurs, average business guys, most of them are just keeping up? Anyway, let me give you guys a clue. Anyway, my name is Nnamdi. I'm an word. So my own is business. Exactly. Let me give you a clue of what business do now.
You know, an word, when it's mentioned, people get wet.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know
I felt somehow
that
when you said that word.
do you know that last year when Buhari was there,
Yes.
when you ship something, CBN, let me use CBN. During Buhari's time, a CBN, one measurement of CBN is 165,000 per CBN.
Okay.
You know, when you freight, you either use air or ship.
Yeah.
When you use air, it's faster. Within 10 days, it gets here. But when it's ship, it takes like 2 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, and other stuff. So, but when you ship, we measure it in CBN. So last year, when Buhari's time is 165, 158, it swings like that. But there's a one that they gave us bill on Thursday that came in. You know how much it is? 565,000.
For what? One of that CBN.
One of that CBN.
Wonderful.
Difference 565. It swings. Some company will say 555. Some will say 565. Compare it with 165.
So how much would you sell the goods?
God
That
bless
is
you.
the
That's
problem.
question.
And the wahala is not even how much you are going to sell. Who is going to buy it?
Bye.
Because the government workers or civil servants will tell you they haven't increased their pay. They still make the same money. So if you sell shirts, we used to sell shirts 7,000, 10,000, 12,000, now it's 35,000, 40,000. You see the margin. So if you say you are paying somebody 70,000 naira.
Because they can't visit your shop.
I like to find out from, Stanley is an world business guy. I like to hear from Ambicrafties. How has this actually affected your business? You're into cloth designing and all of those. What is the purchasing power?
Yeah.
Has it been the same?
No. We're just going by. We're just going by and trying to still keep up with it. Trying to be strong, to be honest. Because first off, we can't even run our business without power. We need light to run our business on a daily. So there are times when you're trying to, deal with a client, and because you're trying to factor in the power you're going to be consuming and every other effort you're going to be putting into the business, your bill increases, and clients is like, oh, okay, maybe I should just hold on a bit. I've seen a lot of people who do that, and I understand with them, because for them too it's difficult, and they've been doing businesses with us at a particular level, only for it to start increasing. Sometimes you just have to keep, patting them at the back, trying to explain, the situation and all that. So I wouldn't say it's been so sweet. We're just pulling through.
Do you guys still on AC in the organization?
That's luxury.
No, but business, most companies and most jobs, nobody on AC again. Everywhere you go, you see fan. If it's not fan, they will give you hand fan to be blowing yourself. Man, that NEPA thing is,
Okay.
government is not helping us at
I like to
all.
hear from Austin.
The
The security consultant. I'm sure you have a whole lot of people who are working under your firm. So how are you?
The truth is, honestly, it has not been easy. That's just the truth. And just like you mentioned, fuel, ours mainly has to do with fueling, because apart from having these locations out there, my operation officers go to check on them, not to see how they're doing, what kind of services they're rendering to our clients. Now that increased our fueling. Just like in Abuja now, we had like 3 zones, zone A, B, C, and all that, including the Nasarawa oasis and all. But fueling has increased drastically. Formerly, in a week, I can say, okay, maybe each of the healers can take like 40,000. But now in a week, at times, each of those healers take like 80 or 90,000 for you to cover for them to cover all their beats. That one is just part of it. Then the cost of running the business. Now, the most challenging part is the individuals we deal with. Apart from probably maybe the giant oil companies and all that who can afford to pay well.
Yeah.
Most private homes, you can't blame them. Like I have a client I've been dealing with for over 15 years. Do you understand me? And definitely, when I was dealing with him, he was actually in the service then. There was money and all that. But now he's a retiree. So definitely, you can't just throw such a person away when it has to do with dealing with your customers. And he will tell you, things are no longer the way they are. I can afford to pay. So the minimum, just like when you spoke about it, I knew very well, just like you said, the government is not actually doing anything to support the private businesses.
Yeah.
So we know it's not realistic in the private industry. A lot of them can't do that. We won't be able to meet up with that task because there's no support from the government, and definitely most clients or probably they will tell you they can't pay what they can't pay. Even I have a client now she even have to say, well, I think we'll try start opening the gate ourselves. It has gone to that extent. I had to come and take the security man out. I'm telling you, once she gets to the gate, she will come back. Either show her husband. so it's as bad as that.
You won't blame them.
I've had clients tell me, okay, you know what? Don't worry, I'll wear my own clothes.
And now, when you go cheaper, because of the cost of things in the country now, if you charge a kind lesser and you don't pay these guards well, they end up stealing.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because definitely,
something has to suffer.
Just like the lady you spoke about, thinking outside the box to go and start getting an animal feed for her kids and all that. The same thing applies to her job. Once a young man can't cope, what do? He start thinking, how else do I need?
How do I get money?
So, and for we, it's dangerous. It's a very, that one is a security risk.
Yeah.
When the operative is not paid well.
And you know that invariably, having said it's a security risk,
Yes.
I think it's also a security risk for everybody in the nation.
Exactly.
When too many people who are around you can't feed themselves,
Yeah.
you could be a prey.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Anybody who can afford to, there's this lady that got impregnated,
Yes.
and they were asking her to show who got her pregnant. She just pointed at one guy, Uche, and they said Uche probably didn't sleep with her. She said, "Is Uche?" They said, "Why?" Uche has 2 phones. Uche has 2 phones, meaning that Uche is doing well.
He's doing well.
Uche is doing well. So when you have people around you who are using 2 phones, or you are in the midst of people and you're using 2 phones, of course, you could be a prey. We're not talking about using exotic cars.
Exactly.
Just 2 phones, you're a prey. So
Yes.
it's a security risk. Now, my own take or my advice or what I'm thinking we should do is, how would people cope in this difficult situation?
No, the truth is, this idea of coping has to do, one, first of all, you must accept the fact that now we are faced with the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody have to wake up.
Thank you. Initially those days when you come to Abuja those days, you meet a lot of fake lives. Have you noticed
They are still,
Have you noticed that?
they are still,
That's reduced very well.
they have reduced drastically, seriously. They have.
I'm telling you.
They have reduced
Compared to
seriously.
I met a
Compared
man,
to
I was
before.
surprised.
Yes.
Fake life.
Yeah.
He has entered the blood. When they go out to-
It has reduced seriously compared to those years when I came newly. I'm telling you what I observed.
Oh,
Before
really?
it was terrible,
Before it was terrible.
but now
Before
because
it's terrible.
those people who want to fake, everybody now is
Everybody now is right.
So the truth is that
You know those days, during those fake life, somebody will have 1 million naira. He used 950 naira to buy a car.
I'm telling you.
And 50,000 will be at the reserve. Within 2-3 days, he won't have 5,000 to
At
buy
all.
fuel. When they come out with this guy, you say, boy, this guy, dude, this guy.
Even the car,
Bros, I beg,
I'm telling you.
square me $20. I go give you in 2 hours. And if you look at the car, immediately you just give you 100,000.
So the car is a walking tool.
So the truth is that now when you're faced with the reality, what do? You must start adjusting yourself.
Yeah.
There's no two way
That's
about
just
it.
it.
Unless you don't want to survive. Do you understand me? Like in my house these days, you dare not throw food away now. Or I catch my little boy saying, if you try it, I tell my once you're okay, put it in the fridge. Be sure he's going to use this food later. Don't throw any food away.
Me, the
Because-
one I
because-
like to practice is when I come back, I'll first of all go through and see whether there's any food remaining. If there's anyone remaining,
start from
I'll
there.
eat that
I'm
one.
telling
When
you.
I'm full, they'll put my own, they'll reserve my own so that tomorrow
Next time you
next
can-
time
I'm telling you,
Because
you avoid
if you
wasting.
leave that one before you know it, you begin to send it to the dustbin.
Dustbin.
And say, these days you even have enough not to talk
all
about
those
sending it
things,
to the dustbin.
if you check actually, you must also cut that there are some things actually you can do, do without.
Yeah.
You learn to cut those things down. I know actually when things were normal, there are pleasure and so many all those stuff. But now you don't have any option. Just like you were mentioning about a guy that used to take 2 bottles of beer.
Yeah.
But since this regime,
regime.
the way he takes 1 bottle, he goes home.
How do you,
I didn't
how do
even
you,
take
how,
one.
how do you cope with having your ATM in your pocket at all times in this present situation? When it looks like you having your ATM is like having all your money with you. You understand?
No, but I think it's because of the hardship why you see people don't normally have cash.
Yeah.
If we check all our pockets, I'm not sure you will get up to
One naira cash,
1,000.
no physical
Yeah,
cash.
yeah.
Everybody
Because the more you have cash, the more you spend, the more
exactly.
Yeah.
So people have learned that. So too many a times, everybody will be either your card or transfer.
Yes.
Even 200 naira now they do transfer. If you don't take bros, leave them. So I think it's another way of people cutting their coats
Yes.
according to their
Material,
size.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
not
But
carrying
again,
cars
there's
and-
this other thing I think that has been helping
Okay.
people buying stuffs in bulk.
In bulk,
E-
yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, you buy in bulk. Instead of fragmentized buying, you
More
want
expensive
matches,
to
you go and
fragment.
buy. So
Yeah.
economy of scale can be applied even in the family, finances or purchases. You just buy small, buy in bulk. If you don't have the money, you can buy and share.
But
with
yeah,
people.
that's what I wanted
Yeah,
to
in
say.
a-
Sharing,
in a
buying
group.
bags of rice, stockfish,
sharing it.
crayfish.
That
you
one,
share
that
with
one
a
is
group
taking
of
over
people.
everywhere.
Yes.
now.
Yes.
That one goes with if you normally have bulk money. And
Yeah,
it
but you can-
comes
that's why the
maybe
sharing
once
will-
in a
that's
once
what-
in a month
You
or
know,
once
some
in a week
do
and stuff.
contributions
Yes.
monthly and then share maybe
Share.
half mid-year or towards the end of the
The
year.
sharing actually is even what people a lot are into that
Yeah.
now.
A whole
The
lot.
goats, even they go, they buy together, share
Share.
rice. That's how it is now. Because the bulky this thing, because when you buy in fragments, you tend to spend more.
Yeah,
More.
you spend more.
You tend to spend
Nah,
more.
but me, I encourage that segment though, because guys have to do business now, bros. Hey, if everybody buy in box, what happens to their book in front of our houses?
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
happened
but-
to all those
The banana sellers,
banana
the
sellers,
orange
all those
sellers,
small
Yeah.
businesses? Because if everybody begin to buy in Cotonou and buy in Niger Republic, bring back, which means there will be problem in the streets.
Yeah, but
if
even-
my neighbor because whether we like it or yes, those guys that are in front of our house is selling. They are securities too. If they see strange people entering this house, they'll say, I don't know where are you from and all that stuff. And they will tell you, I monitor this person, this person. If you don't patronize him, and before you know it, he runs out of business.
Yeah.
Everywhere is now porous.
Dry.
Yes.
While ago,
Oh, yeah.
busting. So
Yeah.
if we are doing that, we shouldn't encourage it much because let's tone it down.
No. But yeah, even at that, no matter how much you buy, when you buy rice this month, next month the rice is already depleting. You may need to have a couple of beans, so you cannot have everything.
Exactly.
But at least to an extent,
Those key ones.
Those key ones. Then
Yes.
the other thing I'm also looking at is
If you even go to buy rice in Mood, you'll be more angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will get pissed off. You'll be surprised the Mood of rice are calling 3,000 plus for you. Do you understand?
So when you have money to buy it in bag, you just buy it and
it's all right,
forget.
guys. I'm sure we can't exhaust these issues and concerns about the nation and the economy and the hardship people are going through. I want to thank you for being here and for making some reasonable inputs. For guys who are watching, this is Mr. Austin. He's a security
consultant with
and-
Santana Security.
Oh yes,
Thank
he's a
you.
very big guy. It's uncommon having him here. And
Thank you.
immediate left is
okay, I don't introduce
He
myself.
wants somebody to go with. Somebody to go with.
I've got to do it. This is Anna World. This is Anna World. Namdo, my man. And then this is Ambi Crafties, and Ambi is quite a creative person in designing, fashion designing for ladies and for guys. I'm sure we're going to put out the handles. If you want to follow them, you can follow and patronize them. We'll have to help ourselves. Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank you very
important.
much.
Yeah,
Thank
you.
you.